Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Snow Woman, also known as Yuki Onna, a Japanese horror drama film from 2016 that is based on an ancient Japanese legend that has existed since at least the 1400s and probably older. Now, there have already been multiple film adaptations of this legend, the most popular of which is the Woman of the Snow segment in Kwaidan, the film by Masaki Kobayashi that was released in the mid-1960s. But my personal favorite adaptation was Ghost Story of the Snow Witch from 1968, also known as Snow Woman, a feature-length version that had more depth of story and character. And now we have this film from 2016 to enjoy. Now, right from the start, I'm going to tell you that this film does not currently have a subtitled release. However, it's something that I think you should definitely put on your radar, and that's why I'm giving it a review here. Now, the story of Snow Woman is similar to the other aforementioned film adaptations. It begins on a snowy night in a mountain hut where two hunters have taken shelter from the cold. A snow woman spirit enters the hut and murders the older man with her icy breath. But she takes a liking to the younger man and tells him that she will let him live under one condition. Never tell anyone about this situation or what happened this evening. So 1 year later, the hunter meets a beautiful woman who happens to be the Snow Woman in her fully human form, but he does not immediately recognize her. And they strike up a romantic relationship. But their past might cause problems for their future. So there are a few things that set Snow Woman apart from its predecessors. And one thing you'll notice is that it's less fantastical in its imagery. Kwaidan, Ghost Story of the Snow Witch, both were very excessive in their visuals at times, which I'm a big fan of, actually. The ice and the snow were vibrant and otherworldly, lots of otherworldly imagery in those films. This film from 2016, on the other hand, takes an extremely naturalistic approach to its color schemes and visuals. It begins with a gorgeous black and white sequence, but then it shifts to color for the rest of its runtime. And everything looks very real and organic in the film. And it also looks fantastic. There's a lot of atmosphere in this movie, as well as some beautiful natural environments. And it seems to shift between late autumn, winter, and early spring times of the year. And this naturalistic approach really kind of helps sets this film apart, because it makes it feel like it's set in kind of our real world, instead of kind of transporting you to an otherworld type setting. And I really like that aspect of this film. Another thing you'll notice is that this 2016 adaptation has horror content that is very subdued. Alright, there's really no conventional scare tactics at all in this film. This is not a scary movie per se. It's more hypnotic and relaxing, with the horror content expressed in a more thematic way. And some may argue that there's not enough visceral horror in this film to classify it as a horror film, but I do think that there's more than enough horrific content kind of beneath the surface, in my opinion. I do think there is. This film is not concerned really with a story or plot, very much at all. And it is glacially paced, but I find it very intoxicating due to its environments, the character interaction, and the anxiety that it creates regarding whether or not the Snow Woman will be discovered by other people. But I can understand why maybe the pacing might become a problem for your typical moviegoer. It is a pretty slow flick. There is actually a trailer on YouTube that I'll link in the description box below, and that trailer really gives you a very good idea of what to expect from this movie. While watching the trailer alone, I was kind of intoxicated, so that's a good basis to see whether or not you would be interested in this film. I have a few other quick observations to point out here. The music uses Japanese instruments and is a mix of ambient sounds and percussion that is both soothing and intense at the same time. Very moody stuff. There's also more sensual scenes in this film than the prior adaptations, which adds a little bit of an edge to this. So Snow Woman overall is a very impressive quality horror film from Japan. It's currently available on a fairly expensive Region 2 DVD. Most people probably won't want to shell out like 30-some bucks for this. And it does not have subtitles on that release. That's the version that I actually recently purchased. I kind of splurged. I kind of bought it for my birthday, so to speak. And I have that in my collection. But even without subtitles, I really enjoyed this movie. You know, if you're familiar already with the prior film adaptations, you'll understand just about everything that's going on in this film. Because plot-wise, it's similar enough to know what's going on. And there's enough nuance, and it carves out its own little identity stylistically and in other aspects that I did not mention in my review to avoid, just to let you discover some stuff for yourself there. But it does have some interesting plays on different things that happen, I'll just say that. And at the very least, be sure to check out both adaptations from the 1960s. I know Kwaidan is widely available. Check that out. And Ghost Story of the Snow Witch, which occasionally shows up on YouTube. Check that one out as well. So that's it. This is my last review before I go on vacation for a few weeks. I'll try to get another review out. It's going to be probably, let me do an estimate here, maybe November 9th. It's going to be a little while. Probably November 9th. Or no, November 2nd. Possibly November 2nd. I'm sorry, November 2nd. You might be in for a review. And as always, I'll see you next time.